It's dry here in Tokyo, Japan. Jack Carter, first career pole position from T. Gabo and Oscar Folstad. Championship leader Revo starts fourth from Santino Milan and teammate P. Sierra. And it's Lawless Clerk, Dav Sanchez, Daniel Bogdasarov, David Camino, and Marcus Nelson. Bastian Tan starts 12th, then it's Anok Huey, Cosmos, and Leo. Then it's iWorld in 16th. Akari Lopez starts 17th. UK starts 18th. Sebo Campo is 19th. Michael Novikov, Tommy, and Miores make up the rest of the grid. Well, Jack Carter finally out of his poor qualifying slump. He starts on pole today here in Japan. All 5 lights go on. Lights out, and away we go for the Tokyo E3. Covering off of T. Gabo at the start is the best thing that Carter can do, but it means that he's vulnerable from an attack to Oscar Folstad, who's up into second already, and he's going for the race lead from third on the grid. Oscar Folstad takes the lead of the Tokyo E3. Carter under threat from Gabo, and he gets passed by Gabo. Both hyperdrives dropping 2 positions on the start. Revo's dropped to 6 as he now tries to claw his way back up the order. So it's Folstad from Gabo, from Carter, from Leclerc, your top 4 currently. You can see drivers going very deep. He threw that turn very deep for Cosmos, who's going to try and slingshot himself up into the points if he can, but it's going to be the outside line for him. Carter, oh, yellow's out of the race, goes Bastian Tan and that McLaren out of the E3. And that means I don't have to have a stroke while trying to pronounce his name anymore. Sorry, Bastian, it's true. Virtual safety car is out there on this opening lap. That's a place where we've only recently seen drivers crash out. With the return to the FEMC, of course, you do have drivers who have spent some time away from motorsport. So since season 12, we have seen a lot more crashes at circuits where you don't regularly see crashes. However, Sao Paulo, Brazil, for whatever reason, doesn't see crashes. It hasn't seen any major crashes since season 5. Going to the second lap of 13 then. Folstad leads the way comfortably from Gabo and Carter. Bogdasarov coming in to change his front wing, so he must have been the main instigator for that incident. Marcus Nelson currently in 10th position on the hard tyre. Same for Sebastian Ocampo. DS Andretti have not had the greatest start to the season, ignoring Santiago, which, of course, alongside Mexico City, were 2 big outliers because of the amount of crashes. So you really couldn't tell who had the best car on those days. You could tell who the drivers with the best attrition rates were, however, and that is as important as being in the fastest car. As we see Revo trying to send one around the outside of Santino Milan. This is going to be great, as we see David Camino trying to do the same thing to get himself up into 5th. Almost gets blocked by Leclerc there. That's going to allow Revo to have much fresher air. They're going 4 wide for the fight for 5th here. 4 wide coming through 130R. You never see this in real life because there's a massive pinch point there, and they didn't collide. Revo is holding on to 5th position by a will and his season 16 World Drivers' Championship. P. Sierra setting a fastest lap of the E3, and that is 1 away to fight for position. Jack Carter is now vulnerable to an attack from his own teammate and Lawless Leclerc. All he had to do was sprint away from the attacking pack. All you had to do was follow the damn train, CJ. But now Revo trying to close in on Leclerc. Leclerc going very deep, coming through this double turn here. What is Revo going to do? Let's find out. Going through the hairpin. Not close enough to overtake Leclerc. Yet, I do think he's going to try and do it pretty soon. I know this man, and he's going to try and make an overtake quite close. Is to at least the end of the lap. He's gone very wide. Is he going to try and go around the outside? Nope. Switchback potentially as we head towards 130R. Cosmos has gone himself a track limits warning further back, but we're still on board with Revo as he tries to get past as Carter and Leclerc. Leclerc trying to go down the inside on Carter, coming through the Casio triangle, very close to the wall. but he's just lost out on trying to get past the now leading hyperdrive car of Jack Carter. So on to lap 4 of 13 we go. It's attack mode for Revo. Carter with the fastest third second of anyone. But on its first pole position, Carter can only do one thing, and that is hold on to the podium. There is little hope for him winning this race. He's compared to his teammate, who started 4th and is now currently 5th. Carter started 3rd, Carter started 1st, currently 3rd. Volstad started 3rd, currently leads the way in that McLaren car. McLaren hasn't really seen too many race wins in this championship, so to see the Papaya squad win a race would be a race win for the ages. But we still look to Revo then, trying his best to get close to the back of the number 16. It's all he can do currently to stay with the clerk. But one more thing to do for him would be to get past. He's going to have attack mode coming down this upcoming straight. Chicane cleared for the number 7. But there is a possibility. Volstad's coming to the pits. That's Leclerc into pit lane. So T. Gabo leads the way. Revo's into the pits. We're seeing a flurry, an influx of drivers entering pit lane. Oscar Volstad's going to come out of the pits. Probably in the top 10 still. We've had half the grid come in. And they're out of the pits now. So it is Gabo from Carter, from Milan, from Nelson, from Akari, from iWorld. The man currently 2nd in the World Drivers' Championship somehow in that number 21 car. And this is the thing about the FEMC. Once you're at the halfway point of the season, you have your championship challenges, or at least you'd think, pretty much sorted out. If they are 60 points behind the World Drivers' Championship leader by the halfway point of the season, there's still a chance that they're going to win the championship. And we've seen this most notably with B-Dragon Sonic in his penultimate season, in season 12, where he was 11th at one point in the season, but strung together such a good second half as we see Volstad get past Nokovov, but get a time penalty in the making of that. So the McLaren man, it looked like it was going to be a very solid end to this race if he just won out on strategy. As we see Gabo come in, yellow flags. That is Leo spearing into the wall there, and he's got a bit of damage. As we've got yellow flags, we had yellow flags down at turn 3. I think it was just Leo slamming into the back of another driver, possibly slamming into the side, maybe, we don't know. But it is Jack Carter leading the way from Marcus Nelson, Anok Huey, and Leo Bennett, Sebo Campo, and Oscar Volstad, but Volstad trying to get past as quickly as he can. And Nokivov coming out of the pits in last position. But here he comes. And then Leo defending with all he has against Sebastian Ocampo. And all he has doesn't seem to be too much, because Ocampo's still right with him. A lot of weaving from Leo ahead as he tries his best to defend from the season 14 World Drivers Champion. So how much closer can he get to the back of the Aurelio Pinnacle man? How much closer is he willing to get to the back of the Aurelio Pinnacle man? That's what we're currently watching. Jack Carter coming through the final few turns, then we expect him to come into the pit. But here comes Ocampo on Leo. I think Oscar Volstad, as he's been passed now by Gabo, they're once again trying to fit 4 cars through 130R. This is going to be very close as they come through the Casio triangle. They don't tangle. Volstad has dropped behind Gabo. Carter has now come out of his pit box, so Marcus Nelson is leading the C3. Where is Carter going to come out? He comes out behind Gabo and just behind Volstad. He's ahead of his teammate and P. Sierra. Sierra is doing pretty good for tire wear, same as Revo, so Sierra somehow managing to outdo Revo when it comes to tire strategy. But Marcus Nelson and Sebastian Ocampo, for that matter, both of them are looking at some pretty decent finishes as it stands. But here comes Sierra once again to try and deny the championship leader and the reigning World Drivers' Champion of a high place and finish. That's very deep coming through these turns. The two Denya turns are usually where you see crashes happen, if there are crashes at all around this circuit, which of course are quite rare. But it is Marcus Nelson leading the way from T. Gabo and Oscar Folstad. Jack Carter currently in 4th position. And at this point in this race, if you are a Sky Q, Sky Glass or Now TV customer and you press the grey button below this race, you can be subscribed to the BDS Formula 1 YouTube channel. And if you hit the bell as well, you'll be notified for more races where moves like this from Revo and crashes like this from Sebastian Ocampo will be broadcasted more often than not. Ocampo has lost his front wing and is providing a little bit of a blockade there. Tommy getting a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. This is pretty much day over for Ocampo, who's now going to come into the pits earlier than expected, but crucially has provided a little bit of a stopgap for this man Revo to work with, as well as Sanchez, because now behind Sierra there is a very big gap. So for Revo right now, he can only drop down to at least 9th. Doesn't sound too good, but every point matters. And if you score no points, that's a lot worse than scoring 2 points, especially come season's end. Because remember, back in season 5, I can't believe I have to go this far back, the two championship rivals were tied on points going into the final round. It's the only time we've ever seen that happen in this championship. We have seen a lot more down to the wire championships in recent memory, but never since season 5 have we seen a perfect, no difference. Yellows in the second sector, unusual, and that is for Seb Ocampo. Ocampo up on the wall. He's lost his front wing, and he's out. Sebastian Ocampo is out of the E-Prix, and Michael Novikov has gotten himself a puncture. Marcus Nelson finally comes in alongside P. Sierra with 4 laps left to run in this E-Prix. Nelson comes out of the pits. He will be 6th, just about. I was going to say 7th, but now Jack Carter is currently looking at his first career victory. He's looking at it in the eyes. He's looking at it in a mirror, and he's just thinking to himself currently, how can I hold you? Because he wants that first race win badly. He wants to get past the Italian that's ahead of him and prove himself on this world stage. But it's all about whether or not he can do it. And to be honest with you, I think he can. There's no question about it. And Carter has proven himself capable of winning races. Been able to overtake so well, but now all we're left to see is how well can he lead. So attack mode, he'll get it coming down the straight. Coming up, he's dropped off the back of Gabo. We're led to believe that the Nissan man is coming into the pits, but he's not. He's staying out. Carter also staying out. Attack mode for Jack Carter with 3 laps left to run. And here in Japan, the last 3 laps are usually the best 3 laps. Oscar Folstad, oh, that's UK Ball getting a time penalty further back in this little gaggle of cars. Runs down to 17th. And Curie getting passed by seemingly everyone and their mother. Carter coming through the S's. Wants to be closing up to T. Gabo as much as he can. But he's really dropping off through the Denya turns. We come through the hairpin then, and it's still not as close as Carter would want it to be in that 98 car for Hyperdrive Racing. But it's all now based around whether or not he can keep himself as close as possible as they exit Spoon Curve. Volstad trying to lap Michael Novikov right now. He's coming out of the pits and is officially a lap down in Japan, of all places. And can Carter really find a place to hassle Gabo as much as possible? I think Gabo might come in soon. He might. He stays out, however. Both the top two are staying out. Volstad comes in as we're on to lap 11 of 13. Nelson is going to make it to the end, no questions asked. And I think Ravo might have to come in. Tamino's in ahead of him. Ravo comes in. VSC and Arcui out of the E3. And that right there, what you saw, was an Arcui. And he is out of this race. We've lost 3 drivers from this E3. 2 of them in unpredictable circumstance. 1 of them in somewhat predictable circumstances. But with 2 laps left to run, we're on board with Jack Carter. 42% on his soft tyres. That should... Well, he hopes it'll take him to the end, because if he doesn't pit at the end of this lap, that's basic. These are going to be the tyres he's going to have to end the race on. Gabo's got to feel a lot more confident in the knowledge of, yeah, they both came into the pits at the same time, but his mediums will do at least 1 more lap than Carter's softs. And you can see that he's dropped 2 seconds on Gabo ahead of him. He's using all of his attack charges possible. Camino gets a time penalty. Oh, that's very close to the back of the Camino for Revo. And it just looks like there goes Revo up into... He's going to try and take 8th there from his old teammate. He does take 8th from his old teammate. The bull has been unleashed. The Italian #1 car only sees red. Carter comes in with Gabo on this lap. Marcus Nelson is going to take the lead on the penultimate lap. And we've got a VSC. Dav Sanchez out of this E3. There, right there, is the DS Andretti car on the penultimate lap. But it is going to be Marcus Nelson for App Sportsline who leads this race on the penultimate lap. Gabo is going to be 2nd, Carter is 3rd, Volstad 4th, and Revo is 5th. That is your top 5 separated by 12 seconds. If we ignore Nelson, they're separated by 6. If we ignore Revo, they're separated by 3. So I don't see too much fighting over position here between the top 5. This might just be how it ends. Unless Carter can pull something out of his bag, like a magician, a Danish magician, whatever they call magicians in Denmark. I don't speak Danish, but he's just doing his best to try and close into the Italian driver ahead of him. And the question is, can he? They are closing in on Marcus Nelson somewhat sufficiently. It's 5 seconds for gap, but Nelson should be able to win this race. He's going to have to nurse his tyres a lot more. But the number 13 is about to return to victory lane. And at Sportsline, the country of Germany will see themselves win another race for the first time in a long while in this championship. But Gabo and Carter are closing in rapidly. 3 seconds. 3 seconds. That's all it is between them as we enter the final lap of this E3. Michael Novikov currently in 18th position. He's not lapped. But if Marcus Nelson can get past him, then that's basically it. Because then everyone else behind him is going to have to get past Novikov. Carter's dropped 2 seconds from Gabo. He's not fighting him anymore. So Gabo right now is going to have to try and claw 3 seconds in a single lap. Nelson setting the fastest first sector of anyone. Gabo's out of attack mode. And so is Marcus Nelson. They both have lost everything that they can fight for aside from their pure racing brilliance. This is the Season 9 champion versus the Virgin Renault number 29. I don't think Gabo's got enough of, if he had 2 more laps, possibly even 3, this would have been Gabo's race for the taking. Cosmos gets a 5-second time penalty for colliding with the back of Iworld, but Nelson has had no such penalties. He's going to go into the final chicane with Gabo on his back, but nothing else will be holding him back. Gabo has thrown everything at him on this final lap, but Marcus Nelson returns to the top of the rostrum and wins Then Tokyo E3. Gabo sets a new fast lap, taken by Jack Carter, who sees his first ever podium. Volstad is 4th on the road, but Raver will take that from him. Camino 6th, Leclerc 7th. Look at this from Akari. Can he get past Sierra? Not quite on the line, as Tommy comes home to finish 10th on the road. UK bolting the fastest third sector of anyone, and we're going to go on board with Michael Novikov in 18th. My goodness me. Marcus Nelson wins. That feels so good to say. I can't recall a time where he's won a race post-season 12. But he's won a race with that sports line. With his teammate Mulrose down in 15th, that's going to raise his spirits quite a bit. Well done, Marcus Nelson, for winning in Tokyo, Japan. Very hot through those turns for Michael Novikov. Probably would have preferred to have been last. This is the podium then. Marcus Nelson wins from T. Gabo and Jack Carter. The Danish flag flies once again on the podium, but Marcus Nelson wins a race in the championship. Then it's Robo, Oscar Volstad, Lawrence Leclerc, P. Sierra, Akari Lopez, and David Camino, with Iwell rounding out the top 10. Then it's Daniel Bogdasarov, Santino Milan, Tommy, Milrez, Cosmos, and UK Ball. And then it's Leo and Michael Novikov, your finishers. Your non-finishers being the 2 DS Andretti's, Anok Curie and Vashi Chantan. In the World Driver Standings, Bravo leads the way from T. Gabo and Iwell. Then it's Lawrence Leclerc, Bastian Tan, UK Ball, Jack Carter, Marcus Nelson, Oscar Volstad tied with Daniel Bogdasarov and Cosmos. Then it's P. Sierra tied with Leo, Sebo Campo, Akari Lopez, Das Sanchez, David Camino, Milrez tied with Anok Curie, Santino Milan, Michael Novikov, and Tommy, who's yet to score. We'll see the World Constructors title currently now. Hyperdrive Racing leading the way on 99 points from Mercedes Formula E team and Virgin Renault. Then it's McLaren TGR, Born Honda GP, App Sports Line, Aurelio Pinnacle, Mahindra, DS Andretti, Nissan Nismo, and Next TV Neo. We'll see you guys next time then for the Marina Bay E3.